Okay. And then we're going to go to the window and we're going to change a couple things. We're going to start at, let's start at negative pi. Make sure that you're using the negative sign that is below the 3 and using the pi button, not just typing in 3.14. For the x max, 2 pi is good. If you don't have 2 pi in there, change it to 2 pi. Let's keep the y, but this is important. You see the x scale? I'm going to write in pi divided by 2 on that one. I want it to be every pi over 2 I want to mark. And then y min and max, negative 3 to 3, y scale is 1, and the x resolution can also be 1.
What the x, the first x minus term, what would you get to get that number?
This x scale,
Like the way top one.
that would be negative pi.
Yeah.
All right, go sit with your new partner right now and show them your graph once you get there.
Up there. Wow.
So what if my partner's like full homework right now?
Then, and we're missing Caitlin. So you can just cozy up with anybody.
Wait, are you moving or not? I love you. What?
Hey, nice job.
What?
What'd you put in for x scale again?
I put in pi over 2.
Okay.
Show your partner that your graph looks like mine, please. It should look not about the same, it should look exactly the same. And here's how you know if you messed up the scale. Look up. Should have one like dash mark here, one dash mark that's exactly where it's coming down. One there and one there. There should be only 4 dashes on the right side, 2 on the left. Okay. Now, this is a normal sine curve. Notice how a sine curve starts at 0. Is everybody kind of with that now, that a sine curve starts at 0 and a cosine curve starts at 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to move this thing up or down or left or right. Does anybody have any ideas? Kyle.
We're gonna like add the sign or whatever.
Okay, are you saying that you want me to write like inside here you want me to write +1, or outside here you want me to write +1, or what are you thinking?
I'm thinking on the inside.
On the inside. All right, so right now we're going to try, everybody do it with me. Actually, you know what? Let's keep the first one as sine of x and make the second one sine of parentheses x plus 1. Make sure that x plus 1 is in parentheses. And let's see what happens.
It moved it left and right. Yes.
So, which way did it slide it?
To the left.
To the left, how much?
By 1.
By 1. Okay, so what you're saying is that my original one is this one right here, right?
Yeah.
And that it shifted it to the left 1. So when we put in +1, it went the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that went the opposite way. What if we want to move it to the right 1 instead? What should we change about this?
Minus 1.
All right, so everybody change it to a -1, not a -1, a -1. There's our original. And that time I moved it to the right 1.
Yeah.
Now, this is true as long as you don't have a b in there. If you have a b in there, it's actually c divided by b. So let's write what we know so far. A is the amplitude, right? The period is 2 pi divided by b. That's the things we know so far. If you want to move it left and right, it is c divided by b, but it's always opposite, the opposite of the direction you want to go. Remember when we put in a positive 1, it moved it to the left? And if we put in a minus 1, it moves it to the right? D divide, yep, I'm right, okay. All right, so now we figured out how to move it left and right, but now how about up and down? What if we want to change that center line?
Have to put on the outside.
On the outside? What do you mean by that?
2x minus, or, do on the other ones, just do like minus 1, and then I'll move it up.
Like, not in the parentheses?
Correct.
Okay, so Kyle says if we put a minus 1 outside of the parentheses like this, that it'll move it up 1. Show your partner what you're writing on your screen right now. Hit graph when you're ready. There's our original sine graph.
You did? Or was it that one? Interesting.
This one went where?
Down.
It went down instead, so it shifted the whole center line down 1. So what does that mean?
That the value going up and down is positive, go up, negative, go down.
Okay, so I'm going to write plus d on the outside of this equation here. And if you want to move it up and down, what you're saying is it's just d. It's not opposite of d. It's just straight d.
Yeah.
You can actually make your whole screen look like waves. If you were to write sine of x plus 1, sine of x plus 2, sine of x minus 2, nice and fancy. Remember, this is how they control radio waves and sound waves to make your cell phones work. And lots of other things work. Okay, so what we're going to try is we're going to try a few of these just to give it a shot. I'm going to do, how many should I do with you guys?
2 for sure.
Okay, we'll do 2. And this is what the book suggests, and I don't, because I think the book is being stupid. The book suggests that when we do a problem, that you make a big chart that tells where everything's going and exactly all the points you have to graph, but I think you can do this, okay? Now, what I am going to promise you is this. On the test, they're not really a test, because we're stopping here in the chapter after this, okay? Because I'm not going to have you move or translate like the cosine, or not tangent or cotangent or secant or cosecant, because it's all the same rules. So if you can do this, you could do that, but there's no reason on taking a whole bunch of time to do it when we could move on to other more interesting things, okay? So I'm going to give you a quiz after this. It'll probably, what is today, Wednesday? So it'll probably be like next week, early sometime. We'll spend some time on